Welcome back, Sethling here. As I showed in my recent Pile of Bodies map preview, there's the useless machine inside of my head, and I thought I would do a tutorial for that. You can see it right here, and the nice thing about it is this whole thing fits into a 6x6x6 area. This brown box here is 6x6, and it's only 6 blocks tall, and so it's very compact, and it's something kind of cool that you can build to impress your friends or whatever. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and in order to do that, I'm sort of going to copy this because I don't have it memorized, but I'm going to copy this over here piece by piece in a logical way so that you'll sort of understand what's going on. So the first thing we need is the pistons, these 3 pistons that go vertically, and I'm going to copy them over here in the exact same place. And so we have 2 sticky pistons, and those are what push and pull the top piston, and this is the one that actually destroys the lever. Next, we're going to put some redstone dust here, and I'll explain what this is doing. Oops, this is supposed to be 2 and 4. So we have that, and then also up here we will have some redstone dust that connects these, and let's see, let me actually make sure I have it right. Okay, I've done it a little bit wrong. There we go. So now this one's going to be 2, this one's going to be 4. And okay, so what happens now? When I put a lever here and turn it on, it pushes them both in order. And then when I pull the lever off, it retracts them in order, these 2 in order, so that it pulls it back. Now you'll notice this one has kind of been orphaned. It's not where it started. It started down here, and it got pushed. It got pushed up, and then when it got pulled, the top piston pulled it down one, but the bottom piston didn't pull it down the rest of the way. So in order to resolve that, we're going to use an extra component over here that is a monostable circuit. And this is a monostable circuit that triggers on the downwards edge, or basically when this line turns off, that's when this monostable circuit triggers. So let me go ahead and build that over here, and make sure I get it right. I think it's something like this. Let me make sure that the timing is right. 4 and 1, that's right. And then like this, and so this torch is now going to pulse on for a very brief amount of time when this redstone all turns off, because when we want it to happen when these things are retracting. I'm just going to push this up here, and let me actually just make sure I do this right. Okay. Sorry, that part doesn't go there yet. It goes over here, and I'm going to use a slab here because I want to trigger this one but not this one. So the line that's coming into this piston will power this piston, but if this were a full block, this block would carry power and would also power this one, so we might not get the right one because we want this one to pulse and pull that one in. So I'm going to put this back down here, and now when I flick the lever on, the same thing is going to happen. When I flick the lever off, oh, it didn't work. Let's debug this. Okay, so I flicked it on. So then this, let's see if this torch pulses when I flick it off. Okay, it did pulse, but it pulsed too soon. So I think I missed a repeater here, and that's all. It's just got to delay it by 2 ticks. Okay, try this one more time. Okay, pushes both, and then retract, pull. So that's great. So that's actually a lot of the logic that we need in order to get this working. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to make sure that this one pulses on and off. And in order to do that, we have... this is actually a little bit tricky. So there's this sideline here that's going to provide power to it after 3 ticks, and that provides power... oh, that's not right. Sorry. This repeater's facing the other way than I thought. So yeah, I guess the power actually comes... Oh. Where does it come from? Oh, right. So yeah, the power comes up through here. So, you know, this is what was powering the top piston, this is what was powering the bottom piston. That same line comes up here, and it goes past this chest. This chest doesn't block the signal. after 2 ticks, we power this block, which powers this redstone, which will power. Anyway, you'll see. So we need to lift up the signal 1 more block, and then bring that in over here. No, another block still. Yeah, another block. Bring that in over here. Okay, it's a little complicated. So there's a delay of 2 ticks here, and so this is like a redstone dot, and the way this works is the repeater here is going to power the block here, which is going to power this dot, which will power this block. So it'll end up powering this this piston. Now we're gonna have some problems, I think, when we try this, but let's give it a shot to begin with. Yeah. So as soon as this one pushed up kind of this realized that it should check for a block update, and so since this block is powered, that's actually gonna power this piston. So that's no good. Okay. So at least it managed to retract it. Now, in order to take care of that, I have a obsidian over here. What that means is that the piston, once it gets pushed up, is actually not able to push this line of blocks because pistons can't push obsidian. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can either this is the line where it's trying to push. You can either have 13 blocks extending out this way. That way the piston won't be able to push them in the line. Or you can use obsidian or a chest. So I'm just going to use a chest here. And so now when we try it, it shouldn't do that anymore. And there we go. So it's doing what we want there. Now the last thing we need is the piston that is going to pull this wood block out of the way, because we actually want a wood block above this piston. Right, so let me place that that sticky piston here. That's gonna, it's gonna retract and push that block. So this is actually a little bit complicated. This is gonna involve some redstone update magic. The first thing we need to do is on this one, we're gonna move the input. We're gonna move it over. Make sure those stay connected. We're gonna move it over here. And that was what I was not sure about before. I think that's the right place for. Oh no, one farther over even. Yeah. Okay, and so we get a repeater on a delay of 3 here, and that's gonna be necessary. So this is where we're gonna put the input, and I can't actually connect it up yet because it's gonna cause problems. And I just want to make sure that these 2 lines don't connect, right? If I don't have that block there, the lines are going to connect, so I'm going to put a block here just to make sure the lines stay separate. And okay, I need to take a peek over here. Again, I don't have this circuit memorized. Okay, so this is gonna, there's an inverter here, basically, and so just do that. Hold on. Right. Okay. Yeah, the line is actually going to go up on top of here, and then there, and we're going to put a thing there, and then a repeater here on a delay of 1. Yep. So what this means is the input is going to come from this line, and I still think it isn't hooked up. I can't hook it up, that is. But yes, the input's going to come from this line, which means as soon as I flick the lever on, this torch is going to turn off, and this piston will retract. So, and then after a delay of 3, all of the other stuff that we just saw is going to happen again. Now I'm going to actually hook this input up, and I think it goes right in here. And so the lever, that's because the lever is going to be right here, right? This is where the lever is in the machine, right? When I flick the lever on now, it's going to trigger the redstone besides it right here, and that's going to trigger, this inverter that we just built right here, this torch, and then it's going to go over and trigger the rest of the stuff. And now if I do this, there's going to be problems, and let's just do it and see what happens. So it does pull the block, but it also powers this piston. And so this thing extends before it should, and so that's not going to work. And so to fix that, yeah, let's put this back. To fix that, I can just put a chest right here. And so it won't do that now. So we got rid of it. We got rid of the lever. But the thing is, this block didn't extend. Now, the reasoning for that is basically that when this lever gets destroyed, the signal here, in fact, let me turn it on. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay, so this doesn't. Hold on. Let me fix this. All right. So this is the state it should start out in. When this lever turns on, it's right. It automatically gets destroyed. Basically, it gets destroyed, but this piston is unable to push again. So okay, let me back up. When that lever gets destroyed, it turns this this line off, which is going to turn this torch back into this state that it's on right now, which will cause this piston to try and extend. The only problem is this piston, which has just destroyed the lever, is still extended at that point. And so it's kind of in the way of this piston pushing the block back into place, so this piston can't do anything. Now what that means is it gets powered, and that's what we see. It's powered right now, but it can't extend. Or it couldn't extend when it received the power. If it gets a block update, it's going to extend. So we just need a way of forcing the block update, and that's what this part right here does. It's sort of a delayed block update mechanism. You'll notice it's not going to actually provide power to the piston here in any circumstances that we care about, because remember, this just blinks on for a moment when the entire circuit turns off. All right, let's show you everything in action. Oh, looks like there's still a timing issue here. Actually, it's not a timing issue. This is an issue with oh, let's pull that out. This is an issue. Well, it is kind of a timing issue, but we can fix it. And the way I fixed it over here was to just put a chest in. That prevented the piston here from extending unless there was actually empty space. And so it'll get a block update, and it'll try and extend, but the piston's actually still in the way the first time it gets a block update from this. And then when this block update happens again, because the repeater's turning off, this piston will try and extend, and there will finally be empty space there. So one more time, this should actually work. There we go. And then all we need to do at this point is just fill in around it. So like I had the floor, I had all the walls around it, and that was it. And this is the spot where the lever goes. Okay, so I kind of fumbled around a little bit, but I mean that's kind of how Redstone goes. There is actually some fairly complicated stuff going on here. The timings are all very important, and in order to truly understand this, you'll just have to build it for yourself and play around with it until you understand why things are breaking at the various points. It's kind of a little bit hacky the way I put this all together, but it had to be in order to fit into the small amount of space, because in order to get all the timings right for everything, without having all these chests blocking the pistons, I just don't have enough space for that in the 6x6x6. And you could definitely build a bigger circuit that would do that. I didn't have space for it, so this is what I built, and I thought you'd be interested to see how I took on those challenges of keeping the timings or dealing with the bad timings because of that small space. So hopefully you learned something. Even if you didn't understand the whole thing, you can at least repeat what I've done and try and experiment at each step along the way and figure out what needs to be done and why I solved it the way I did. Well, that's about it. Thanks for watching.